I need some candles.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Evening Tea with Gail, where I just come on here and hang out with my girls. So I am just so excited. You know, with COVID happening, we don't get a chance to hang out, but I absolutely love the opportunity to come before you guys and just have discussions like we would have if we was at a restaurant, because usually they take me to real nice restaurants, and so we go hang out and we just talk about current topics and just let our hair down. So we decided that we're going to share this, our topics, and just hanging out with you guys. So again, thank you guys so much for joining us. Again, I appreciate you so much. And again, thank you guys so much for hopping on. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you guys can monitor my regular page, because I am streaming this live from my regular page. And if somebody got some comments, we will welcome your comments. But again, I just want to start off by telling you guys, thank you so much. Also, I want to tell you that my tea tonight, because I am drinking real tea, right, is brought to you by the Tea Lovers Cafe. And somebody's going to put that in the comments for you guys. But it's by the Tea Lovers Cafe. And I am drinking raspberry lavender. And when I tell you this tea is the bomb.com. So go to tealoverscafe.com and get yourself some tea. It is a Black-owned business by one of my girls, Tawan Lowe. And I'm not pushing the tea because she's my friend. I'm pushing the tea because it's good. And for people who really know me, know that I'm a tea connoisseur. And I used to order tea from all over the world, but now I don't have to. I can order from one of my sisters. So I am so excited about that. So again, it's tealoverscafe.com. And so we'll be putting that in the chat. And so tonight, tell me, Tawan, what are you drinking?
Well, I am drinking. Y'all, I just want y'all to see what my cup says.
What's that?
Because you're quarantine.
Because quarantine
2020.
So I am drinking.
That's a reason to drink. That's a reason to drink every day.
Every day, Sean. I drink this every day. So this is passion fruit. And this is a passion fruit refresher. So it's the passion fruit tea, and I have added some pink lemonade to make it a refresher. So, and it's delightful. And this one keeps me going during quarantine.
Okay. So Candace, tell me what you're drinking tonight.
Sure. I'm gonna be honest. I'm drinking my water. Get my water intake in.
Okay.
I'm almost done.
Okay. Good job.
Bottle plus the extra when I work out. So.
Oh, so you're doing good, keeping the body hydrated and tight and right. Okay. So, all right, Sean, what you drinking tonight?
I am drinking something I just saw at the grocery store. Did you say
me? Yeah.
Okay. I am drinking sangria, a non-alcoholic version. Kiki, don't try to pull me back in. Don't try to pull me back in. And it's made by Welch's, you guys. It's grape, apple, pear, and some other jams, But it's 100% juice, y'all, and it's good.
Okay.
And
we might know.
Look at my cup, Tawan. It has a little lady on it, and it has some heels.
Yeah, because this is women walking in their own shoes.
Yes, I knew you would like that. It's a couple of pairs of shoes on here. Yes.
You just need to put a little champagne in it. Put a little champagne in there. A little something to give it a little spark. You know what I'm saying?
One day tomorrow. Right now, I'm trying to watch the menopause midsection. I'm watching the menopause midsection.
You don't want to get that quarantine.
No sugar, no dairy, no alcohol. Yeah. I'm being lead in the quarantine.
Y'all are so crazy. All right, Kiki Ramsey, what are you drinking tonight?
I am having coffee. What does my cup say? Eat, pray, hustle.
Eat, pray, hustle. Okay.
Oh, y'all, I have to confess, I am eating Biscoff cookies.
Tell the whole truth.
Biscoff cookies.
I confess, I used to fly Delta just to get the cookies.
Me too. I was like, oh, we got to fly Delta so we can get these cookies, honey. So and then I found them in the store and I was like, okay, forget it.
Yeah, I could go back to Southwest.
Somewhere, and I was like, how can we get these cookies? I saved the wrapper and then I ordered it from the company. And then maybe like a month later, went and saw them in the store. I said, I ordered from the company and they was right here in the grocery store.
In the grocery store.
I love them cookies.
All on the cookie aisle.
Yeah,
and you ain't been right since. She ain't been right since.
Look, I get them from Costco. It got 4 big packs in it.
Oh Lord. But just to let you guys
she don't want us to be great, Candace. Candace, she don't want us to be great. All this working out.
But I gotta give it to her. Kiki goes hard every single day on her Peloton. So she go hard. But just for real, Tawan, tell them, Tawan actually has a tea company, and I don't know too many African American women that have tea companies online called Tea Lovers Cafe. And so Tawan, tell them, because we was talking about this before we went live, and I want to make sure that they know that you when they order a subscription, you also give them a lot of goodies in their subscription box. So tell them about that.
Yeah. Hold that package up again. Hold that package up again. Right there. Those cookies right there. You are a subscriber. In your box, you will get a little miniature package of those cookies, and it depends on what subscription you have, because we have the mini teaser and the teaser. And in the mini teaser, you get 1, and in the teaser, you get 2. And so you put that with your subscription, and you also get 1 ounce of tea. And if you have the teaser, you get 2 ounces of tea, 2 different types of tea. So go ahead and get your subscription. You're not doing anything, sitting home, trying to figure out all different types of drinks to get, like, Welch's sangria. You could just go ahead and get some tea instead of trying to have a Welch's sangria. Just messing with you. Tea Lovers Cafe.
Andrea Edwards says she have water. One of the people who said good evening, ladies, she said she just has water. So again, hey Lisa, thank you so much for joining us. I know you just finished your show. Congratulations. We're so proud of you. Thank you so much for hopping on, because I know you're doing double duty tonight. Are you drinking anything?
Lunching with
Lisa, because your friend Sean just having sangria.
Oh. It doesn't have any good stuff in it, so it doesn't count.
Wait
a minute. What do you mean by good stuff?
No alcohol.
That's what makes it a sangria.
Exactly. That's why I said you cannot call it sangria. You call it Welch's grape juice.
Thank you.
Juice.
Because sangria I'm talking about has good stuff in it.
Hold on. First of all, Welch's called the sangria, lady.
We can't hear nothing you saying.
I'm just being obedient to the lady. I ain't got the fake. Well,
Welch's meant for you to put something in it.
Welch's called the sangria.
I think you didn't.
They didn't mean for that.
Well, anyway, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Well, I want to bring up the first topic, which I just like, since we met, we have an African American woman VP on the ticket. Woo, 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 woo. So I'm excited about Kamala Harris. And as soon as that was announced, as y'all know, they came for and they came for hard. Why do you think, as women, get just being African, just a woman getting on a ticket like this is like groundbreaking, like for real? This is like some real stuff. Why do you think that so many women came for hard? Like, my mind was just blown that they came for so hard, instead of saying, you know what, we're going to support her because she's a woman. She broke grounds. She's on the ticket. We have a great opportunity for her to win and to break that, to shatter, forget breaking, to shatter, to break through, to do something new. Why do you think that people are coming for her so hard? Anybody? Sean?
Why y'all been looking at me?
Because you miss
I'm not the
political.
only one that has political.
I'm going to say this again. I am not looking at you. I'm looking.
First of all, you call me out.
Okay, all right. Well, then I'll go to Lisa. Lisa, do you have anything to say since Sean's going to bring us home?
Well, that's a loaded question, actually. That's why I was taking a minute. I was like thinking before I speak. Unfortunately, sometimes with ladies, I just feel like that sometimes I don't know what it is that we find it hard to celebrate a win for each other. And it's not a win because I like you. It's not a win because, I think you're just a win because we're women and you're doing something that's different than what's ever been done before. There are all kinds of reasons that I think we should be celebrating her, and it has nothing to do with what side you're on or any of those kind of things. And I just feel like sometimes we struggle with that. I don't know if it's a reflection on us. I kind of think that sometimes people celebrate others' wins, or women do that based on what they're doing in their lives, and it's some stuff there, and it's just sad to watch. Because it's like unnecessary energy. It's like you're looking for something to have, something negative to say about something that's really a wonderful thing. What is, I don't get it. I mean, and I'm being honest, I really don't quite understand what that's about.
I mean, it was interesting too, because I remember when Hillary was running, and I was just so excited just because she was a woman. And she was, a white woman and everything like that. But nonetheless, she was a woman. So I was very excited that we got to a place where we could nominate, a woman to run as president. But so many women went into the booth and they voted the other way. And I'm like, why is that? What is it about us that we won't stand with each other? I look at a lot of men, they stand with each other because they lead, right? Like, we together in this. But women, it's like we have a hard time standing with each other. And I don't know if it's because, I do know that some women are envious, jealous, and I'm just speaking the truth. And I'm not saying this is all women. And some women still have that bias that the world has put on us that we can't lead, right? Like, even in the workplace and in corporate America, we have these double standards about our ability to step up and lead and be in the top executive positions, because when we are hard, or when we are stern, we are bitches, and we're all these sorts of things, versus if a man is like that, he's a good old stern leader. But I think we as women a lot of times have those same thoughts about other women, like, oh no, she a woman, she really lead. But those thoughts have been put into us by other people, other men, and we've like consumed those thoughts and we run with it. And sometimes they're unconscious, right? And we don't realize that we have this, and then it makes us, our behavior reflects it. And I think that's what happened with this last presidential election when Hillary didn't win. And I'm prayerful that it won't happen this time, but I think that it's deep-rooted stuff in us.
I agree.
So Candace, I want to bring you into this because you're one of the few women that I know that heads IT department, which is usually that field is dominated by men. So as a woman, when you see, and you broke a lot of glass ceilings and stuff in your career, when you see other women tearing down another woman that has gone nowhere, no other place, besides Hillary has really went, what do you say? And it's just a woman of color on top of all of that. What do you thought?
I definitely think we are programmed to not support each other. If you think about it, the same type of struggles, the same, not that the level of struggle, but the same type of struggle that I deal with as a Black person, I also deal with as a woman. You know, when you have to fight and argue and struggle to get any kind of right, I think what the man, we can put anybody in that, we're just going to say that's the man. What they do is divide us so that we don't come together to fight them together.
Yeah.
Right. And even if you've seen Mrs. America, I think it's called Mrs. America, that TV show, Lovecraft Country, any of those TV shows on right now are really dealing with a lot of these issues. It's the same thing. We're immediately like, we're not the first one. So, you know, what am I doing? Kind of thing. And they keep us separate, you know, and I deal with it even at the job that I am in. I have more issues where I am being a woman than being a Black woman. Being a Black woman. You know? And even so some of us IT leaders, women IT leaders, have discussed the fact that even one of the higher level men in IT admitted that they have a problem promoting women in our company, in our department.
Wow.
They acknowledge that it's there, but you know, it's like, well, I don't know why we're doing that though. But yeah, we just went through another round of promotions and only one gets through. One.
Yeah.
Wasn't me though. One.
Yeah.
You know, and it's the unconscious bias that we don't realize that we have. And you have to think about it. You have to be challenged on it, because we've definitely been in an area. We do have one VP in our department that's a woman. And she is passionate about stuff and she will go hard on you. And I heard another woman say, boy, shoot, I don't know, was she on her period? I was like, did we just do, and you know, you laugh, you think, wait a minute, stop. Did we just do that to her?
Yeah.
She did for what she did. You know, we support that no matter what. Maybe she was on her period. Does it matter?
Right. So
what she said was wrong?
Because we all have them. Okay.
Listen. So, you know, it was just, it's interesting that when we've talked a lot about the fact that most people aren't, I want to say most people, a lot of people aren't overtly, you know, racist, biased, prejudiced. It's unconscious. They don't even realize they do it.
Right.
Yeah. We don't even realize we do it. Yep. Because we feel like we haven't accomplished things. We haven't broken the ceiling and we haven't, you know, whatever it is in our life that we're missing, now we are exemplifying in you. Right. Instead of saying, open the door, now we can all go through it.
Yeah.
You don't think that it's like, oh, she just went through the door. Now my turn is over. I can't be the one. You know?
Wow.
Sad.
Juan, you have something you wanted to throw in?
It's hard to change the narrative of the story that we've been taught about ourselves, about women, period, and how it plays out. And you have to become self-aware of what you're doing and how you contribute for it to change. We can't expect people to change. Only people we can expect to change is us. And when we do our part, maybe other people will follow. I'm gonna go back to what Kiki said. I watched what they did with Hillary. I mean, I was so happy. I remember I wrote an article about it. I was so happy about Hillary. Not saying that she was my first choice, but I'm just saying, hey, she a woman. Look what she's doing. Oh my goodness, she got it. So when Harris came along, it was like, oh my God, somebody had already opened the door and paved the way. Now somebody who looks like me. Oh my goodness. But I also think too that sometimes people start thinking about all the things that person has done, and they use that to tear them down, and they miss the bigger picture. Like, you know, everybody was talking about how many people she put in jail, and she's not for African Americans and that. And because they got caught in that, and because that became their centerpiece of what they wanted to discuss, they missed the whole thing about let's elevate and celebrate just the fact of what she just did as an African American woman. We have not seen this. I know in my lifetime, I have not seen it. So I think people get so caught up in some of those other issues that are important. Don't get me wrong, they are important. But let's look at first what's important. And the first thing that was important is look who just made it as VP. Let's celebrate their part first. Then start separating all the other pieces and looking at the other issues as we make decisions as we vote. And I just think sometimes people can't separate. See, that's another thing. People can't separate. They think it's all together. You have to separate it. Because if we don't, we'll never celebrate anybody. Truth be told, none of us on here get celebrated. Because hell, I'm sure we can do some things that nobody agreed to, but we can come and break a ceiling glass or do something that somebody never did. And it'll be glossed over because you're so busy looking at Tawan cussed out the guy at the grocery store the other day because he didn't have his mask on. You know?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So now your career shot because somebody walking around acting crazy.
Right.
Yeah. All right, Sean, bring us home with this one. It's political.
Come on, Sean.
Nope, not at all. I mean, everything that everyone said is true to form. And I think until we can address our individual, I don't even know on a massive level, when we look at everything that's happening, if people can see themselves in terms of the influences. We got to start with us. I think it's awesome. I'm excited for her just being on a major ticket. And I think anyone who opts to put themselves in a political position or to run for office expects, I mean, I hate to say it because we down and dirty now. I mean, they expect the attack. So their families, their loved ones, it's like par for the course.
Yeah.
You know? And it really does show, it's going to highlight her character, her circle, and everything, because everything I said, they came for Hillary. I mean, and like you said, other women, Kiki, voted for the other way because she was a woman. So I think Kamala Harris, I salute, and just like I did previously, I'm gonna pray, because for real, that kind of public display, like Tawansi pulling out everything, you stepped on somebody's toe in 2003. That's where we are. That's where we are. So I mean, I hate to say it, it's on. So be prepared, sis. I'm gonna be praying for you.
Yeah. You know, I wanted to share something on when we were talking about why do people not, why are we just kind of hating on people's because it's an accomplishment, regardless of the other things, this particular accomplishment. But what I learned in another conversation years ago, when I was talking to someone was, and it was a conversation in regards to why someone was kind of ignoring somebody and acting like they didn't exist. And it made sense kind of what they told me, but they said, well, you have to realize that some people won't allow themselves, if they're not ready to deal with what is, or whatever their fears are behind it, or the fact that it's not them, or whatever those issues are, then they won't acknowledge the accomplishment, because then once they acknowledge it, then they got to deal with what is. Okay, so if I acknowledge her and what she's done and what she accomplished, now I got to deal with me and what I feel like maybe I haven't done, and all it just kind of, you point it back at you. And I think that's what happens. It's an odd way to think at things, but it's kind of like the way people do. It's like, I can't acknowledge what you did because then I have to see what I didn't do. And it shouldn't be like that, but I think that that's how people think, which it shouldn't be how they got it, because what you didn't do has nothing to do with what she did. But if you make that connection, then we never celebrate people, because because you already thinking you ain't accomplished nothing. So if I haven't accomplished anything, I certainly can't celebrate you, because I still want to think you didn't either.
I get it.
That's the truth.
Thank you so much for joining. She said, yes, Sean Mason, we have to start with us. And I totally agree. So I kind of want to switch hats right now. And I want to talk about, I got inundated last week or 2 weeks ago. I can't even, because, time is just flying. Like, you guys, we in the middle of September, like, for real.
Yeah.
But I got inundated a week ago, 2 weeks ago, about Mr. John Gray. Pastor John Gray.
Yes.
And his look at Kiki. And his discretions or indiscretions. When take a drink.
Please.
Okay. So.
All right. So let me just tell you this. This time he is admitted, if you look on his broadcast on Sunday, he admitted that he had an emotional affair on his wife, and that his wife was, they was in prayer. She's standing by him. They're in counseling and all of these different kind of things. Look at everybody's face. So
I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna be quiet on this one because me and Gail got into this already.
We did. We got into it. Okay, so my thoughts are is as yeah, for what I do, everybody know what I do. I like seriously. I have dealt with infidelity for years with my clients and stuff like that. Now, as we know, physical infidelity is bad, but to me, emotional infidelity is one of the hardest things to break free from. Okay, and
Kiki.
That is not me.
Are looking, y'all trying to avoid this conversation.
That's Lisa. Now she's gonna get me in trouble. Lisa's like,
we don't have this conversation, and y'all don't engage in it.
Lisa, mute yourself if you trying to eat cookies.
And so,
come on,
my thing is a lot of people are saying, how much more should Aparna, I hope I say her name, Aparna, or Miss Bray, whatever her name. What's her name?
Aventer.
I'm sorry, Aventer, if you're watching this, please watch it. People are saying how much more and should she take? I got the question, Gail, like he did one and she whatever and all this kind of stuff. So what are your thoughts about this? And as a woman, how much should you take? And especially being that he is such a large figure in ministry.
So I don't know what you and Sean got into, because I don't know where both of y'all stand. But being married for 17 years, Pastor John Gray needs to sit down. He needs to get sacked 25 seats back.
Okay.
Because he is out of control. And I know that if pastors behave this way, then the people who they respect the most, which is their leaders, their pastors, are normally the ones to sit them down. I think he needs to sit down because clearly he has an issue. Now get this, the man is human. And I totally respect that, right? We all human. We done all made mistakes. Me and my husband, we done been through a whole bunch of stuff and all this kind of stuff. But it's one thing to have infidelity and say, okay, baby, I'm sorry, I'm not going to do it again. But it's another to keep doing it. If you keep engaging in indiscretionable acts, then you have an issue. Now our trust is truly broken because you told me you weren't going to do it again. Now you're doing it again. I cannot trust you. And so for me, there needs to be some kind of separation. I would have some kind of separation. I'm not saying that I will automatically get divorced, but we will have some kind of separation. You need to work on you, boo, because clearly there's something going on with you that don't have nothing necessarily to do with me, right? And if we do have some things to work on together, then let's do that. That should not cause you to step out and go into the hands of another woman. We grown adults and we are big enough to actually have this conversation and figure this out. But you are stepping out because you want to.
What my thoughts was is you say you sorry, but you keep putting the world in your business. It ain't like, not saying that indiscretion happened. Ain't nobody gonna know unless I tell y'all if something happened between Gil and I. You know what I'm saying? But the world knows about this
because you messing with. And first of all, if you messing with women,
and you John Gray,
some kind of caliber, like how you get caught? How you keep getting caught? What kind of women is you messing with?
Well, first of all, he's not good at his game. That's why he keeps getting caught. He's not good at his game because I think it got caught through some type of conversation that he never had. But the first time this happened, video chat. That's how I got started. But the first time he cheated, he said, or she said, I can't remember which one, that it was something damaged with the little boy in him that needed to be healed. And my words to him is, go sit your behind down, get that little boy healed so that grown man will know how to act. That's what my recommendation is.
Back. Yes.
All and see, and this is the thing, what Kiki said, somebody needs to, whoever his over shepherd is, they need to sit him down. I'm just going to bring this up quickly. Whenever Jamal Brown did what he did, his father's the bishop, sat him all the way down. You will not stand up in the pulpit and talk to nobody and do nothing till you get yourself right and get this together. John Gray is off the chain, and all I can do is pray for his wife, because nobody can say when enough is enough but her. Enough will be enough for all this embarrassment, but only she can say when is enough for her, because she's not just talking about her walking away. She's talking about her. Yeah, he is making a spectacle of her.
And I think she's trying to stay. You can't do that to me. As a man of God, no, you don't. I mean, even if you ain't a man of God, you have to respect me as your wife. And I don't feel that he's respecting his wife in such a way, because she's the queen, she's the head of their household. Whether she do X, Y, Z or not, that's your wife. You should never come out of your mouth about anything that's wrong with me to the public. That's what we don't do, ever. Like, I don't care how bad it gets. That's what we don't ever do. Right. That gets you cut.
Right. You shouldn't be telling people all I do is cook pizza and I don't cook. No, nobody needs to know that. But I will say this. The first affair, when you get physical, you keep upgrading, dude. You first had a physical relationship. When you start doing emotional, you giving your heart to somebody and you share intimate details with somebody else. I'm not in the bed with this broad. This ain't no three-way relationship. What are you doing? Stop this fracking bull.
But you know what? No, how did you get there? How did you even get there? Right? Yeah. Like, how did you get there? Like, how did you get there?
He chose it.
Okay. So I got a question. I want to know, because I'm hearing Kiki and Tawan. I want to know what happened? Where y'all at? Where y'all at with it?
Come on with it, Sean. Come on with it.
Candace, do you have any feedback, my dear?
I'm reserving my right, and I'm just until I hear what
Sean got to say. Come on.
Why not be trying to leave it up to me? Listen,
I just want to hear what your stance is, bro.
I do too.
You know
what, Candace, you want where you at, Candace?
I want to know where your stance is and where Gail's stance is, where this conversation was going.
Yes, that's what we want to know. Okay, so majority rules.
Come on, Sean.
Bring it.
Come on,
listen. Okay, what I find always interesting, okay, is how I'm not excusing. So this is where Gail and I were. I'm not excusing his behavior. What I am concerned about, as always, is where do the pastors go? Who leads the leaders? So here it is, a person who has basically his life is in a magnifying glass. He's human, but for real, y'all, who is he going to talk to say, I'm hurt, I'm healing, and all this other stuff? Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying they're not therapists. I'm not saying he doesn't have an over shepherd. No, but let's get real. It's a whole bunch of people living in the shadow of their fame and fortune, whatever, and they have human issues, and ain't nobody they can talk to, because everybody is trying to out their situation. Everybody trying to put them on blast. Everybody trying to judge them. So unfortunately, y'all, like I said, he leading a huge church. He go to work. He got to put food on all this other stuff. I mean, who is the person who says, who is transparent? Who is, again, fully submitted? We as believers got to look at this as a lesson. If he can be tempted, if he can be pulled into foolishness, my God, what does that say about us as a people? Most of us only submit some things to God, not all of them. He married a virgin, okay? He did not have and this is what I know about him, and I didn't even follow this story. That's what I was saying to Gail. He married a virgin. He talked about not having a father. So yeah, we're not making excuses, y'all, but we talking about examples. So you get elevated maybe before your time, maybe before you have what you need. A marriage is always evolving. Now you got everybody throwing stuff at you and this and that and this and that. You have to have, we have to put something in place for men and women of God and leaders to be able to come out of the limelight. You can take several seats, 25,000 back, but who gonna take over? Or better yet, who can you trust? I've known pastors personally, y'all, who had accidents and had deaths in their families, and the vultures in the church came in and took over and ruined ministries. Let's not, it ain't that easy for him to be sat down. It ain't that easy for him to take several seats. Who is going to be woman and or man enough to say, bruh, I got you, you human. Here's how you do this. Here's how you navigate this public life. Here's how I can help you. It kind of blows my mind, and it frustrates me that we can come in with the judgment and what the shoulda, coulda, woulda, but we ain't got no solutions. Sitting down.
Nobody said that there were no solutions. At the end of the day, you're assuming that he don't got that and that he's actually not listening to his wife's counsel.
Hold on. Gail just said, I'm going by what I said. Ask me what I felt.
Okay. I'm going and I'm going to tell you what my response was.
She just said that they are now getting counseling. She just said that they are now. She just said that. So he is making some efforts. My thing is always, when I look at other people, before I judge or put my mouth on anybody, especially God's chosen, before I do that, I'm going to look at the lesson. And I'm going to look at the message of what we're supposed to get from it. We're supposed to understand that one of the hugest difficulties in this culture is to submit our flesh, and because we are consistently tempted. Come on, y'all. You're talking about, not just pornography, but you're talking about video and like I said, people throwing at it and doing all this other kinds of stuff. I'm not saying that is right, but how are we just going to sit up here and be like, oh, okay, well, you know what, you fix it. He does need healing. He needs deliverance. He needs us to pray for him. He needs us to understand that every devil in hell, when you have an anointing on your life, is going to come for you. And anything that is open, anything that is broken is going to be attacked. So where are the people who hold him up, who undergird him, who keep him in prayer, who pull him aside and who cover him? It's not about being just disrespectful. For real, he's bringing hurt on himself. We got to understand that any type of infidelity, yes, it hurts the person, but there's a whole nother element of what you're doing to yourself. He got weak enough to, like you said, fool around with somebody and risk this kind of conversation. Where do you have to be mentally and emotionally?
Let me say my stance on it. The first time, I whatever Sean said, I would agree with. But this has become perpetual, okay? And to me, I totally am for his wife. I said there is a woman. Forget the title, first lady, big church, whatever. There is a woman that is hurting because this is happening and this is playing out on the national stage. And listen, he also knows as a pastor, women are throwing their draws, their habits, and everything else at him. So therefore, he should be on guard even more than an ordinary man. That's what my thoughts are. And my thoughts are is you got to pass the first time. Your church rallied around you. People was praying for you. They had visuals and everything else. But you turn around and do it again in less than a year, I got issues with you. Sorry. And I do this for a living. I help people through infidelity or whatever. But again, that stuff is playing out on the national stage. And to me, the kingdom took a big blow because he is a giant in the kingdom. But again, he is a man, and we need to quit putting people up on such high pedestals because they keep knocking themselves off, chasing some stuff. Right.
So he had his first transgression. But hear what you just said. He had his first transgression. That didn't mean that he was delivered. He has, I'm in total agreement. Correct. He had a problem. But if you're talking about like you said, the perpetual, it's a deeper issue. So we cannot continue to think that, these type of addictions. How many people we know still smoking and drinking and doing all kind of other stuff? I mean, come on. So we think just this, again, the one transgression, he got deliverance. You're right. He needs some help. He needs some support. And regardless of what happened, if it's happened in this short period of time, we know that it's a bigger and deeper issue. So like I said, there are some tools and things that we can put in place. Yeah, he needs to have a coaching and he needs to sit down. But who is going to protect and continue to gird those people, continue to nurture and shepherd those people? And that is the unfortunate part about it.
But here's the thing. Once you do stuff like that and you lose trust, then his congregation might have lost trust. Now let me just say this. I understand what it's like to stand by a pastor when they've been sat down, because it has happened to me in my lifetime, in my church and stuff like that. And we stayed because we believed in him and all of that. But let me just tell you this. If my pastor had kept doing the same thing that he got sat down for the first time, then I lose faith in and it's not because I don't think that he can, that he can have mistakes. I just lose faith in the fact that, you're supposed to be shepherding me. And when you take an oath to be a pastor or bishop or anything like that, people are going to put you higher on these higher standards than the rest of us. And I'm not saying that it's necessarily right, but it's part of the job, right? If you take a pastorship, you are saying that I believe in this and I believe that this is wrong, and I'm gonna lead by example and shepherd you in a way that is godly and that is honorable. But if my pastor keeps falling in this area right before my eyes, then I begin to lose faith, because that might be something that I'm dealing with too. I'm just saying that I know for a fact that I'm not trying to throw him to the wolves or nothing like that, because he's human. And I totally get that out of everybody. But I also think that sometimes we do have to take a seat back and deal with our issues before we can lead. And I mean, I'll do these workshops and I'll say, you have to learn how to self-lead before you can other lead. And if you have a problem self-leading, and it is affecting your ability to work, because this is affecting his work, then sometimes you got to sit down, you got to have a counseling, you got to find the shepherdship, and then get yourself together so that you can come back and actually be respected and lead in the way that God knows you can. Because I know that he has a calling on his life. I've heard him preach several times, right? He has that calling, but his calling is being overshadowed by his indiscretions. And I think he's gonna have to deal with his personal issues before he can maybe step into the full calling that God has on his life. I'm not the one that, I'm not the boss. I'm just saying that's kind of what I think for him, because he's hurting and he's hurting himself.
And he's hurting other people, because again, it could be that he has pastored or counseled somebody in that situation in marriages, and it's just like, okay, now he can't tell me what to do because he's still doing it. It's like a drug addict that ain't kicked their habit telling you to quit doing drugs. Like, get someone to sit down for real. And I'm just saying, John Gray is a great person, and we all fall. We have all fallen short in every area of our relationships. But my thought was, we gave you a pass the first time, the second time, enough already, and it's just not him. It's he has millions and millions of people who follow him, who listen to him, whatever. Just like Kiki said, it's hard to follow somebody if you're not prepared to lead. And
well, here's the thing. Hurt people hurt people. And I think the level of transparency is needed. Absolutely. What my concern is that because we're all watching and we all are, whether we could call it whatever, whether it be judgment or not, or criticism, there needs to be a healing period. And that's fair. And what I choose to do in any healing period, if you were sick and you were going through chemo, I'm not talking about you. I'm just being honest. If you're sick and you got the flu, I'm not going to continue to tear you apart. I am really concerned about our choices to latch on, especially something as intimate as marriage. We all know that has many intricate into blah blah blah. Okay, it's a whole bunch of stuff going on inside of the marriage. Okay, and so it's really important that we are mindful as to what we put our mouth to on many levels, because they are human, because they are married, because she's choosing to stay with her husband when he has an illness. I think it's really interesting that we look at adultery as this form of quote unquote whatever type of sin. And like I said, there's lying, there's there's all other kinds of cheating. There's all kinds of misappropriation in terms of it's a whole lot of sinning going on. But we choose to let this particular one or anything dealing with sex. And that also is that's a whole nother show. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, so we don't.
But Sean, we also have to look at it, the health and wellness of the woman, because I am a woman, right? And I'm not. The question, the question was asked, when is enough enough? Shut up. You just. But is enough enough. But anyway, Crystal, would you like to join the conversation? Do you have anything to say, my sister from California? What's up?
I'm just kind of feeling like
we can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
You can now?
Yeah, we can now.
I kind of feel like Shawnee.
Your mouth is moving, but it's moving to show a plate face.
It's low. Her volume is low.
I can hear
your volume is low, and your mouth is moving, and the words is like separated. Shut up.
I can hear you, Chris.
I hear you. I can hear.
Okay, so
I feel kind of like Sean, and I came in at the end, so y'all excuse me. But it sounds like he's a man who needs help. And unfortunately, people who are in those limelights, when they fall a lot harder than we do, because like Kiki said, and all of you said, they've got all these people following them. They have counseled people. They have been the ones that we look up to. But now, who does he look up to when he's fallen so hard? And from my understanding, this isn't the first time that this has happened.
It's not
in his life. So I don't think, it takes a while for you to get to restore to that level. So you think of Jimmy Swaggart. Jimmy Swaggart fell hard. It took a while for him to get back to where he is. So as the church, our responsibility, one, is to help him and his family and be supportive. Granted, the few of us here, we can't go to him and talk to him and love on him, but we can do what we can do, and that's be in prayer for him and his family. Because if the church doesn't help the hurting, and the hurting means anyone that's hurting, anyone, and he's got to be crushed, and he's got to be dealing, he's got to be dealing with this in the way that however he does. But I think we as the church what we should do is what we're called to do, is pray for those who are in need and who are hurting like that. And sins, we say
and Chris, I agree. I hear you and Sean, but also the first time he did it, he came out and said how crushed he was, and he was a little boy, and made it, help him become a man. He bought a Ferrari or one of them big time cars that cost $200,000 or $300,000. He did all of these kind of things, and everybody forgave him.
Right.
I'm not
he
saying
has a problem.
He has
right. He
so
did it
the
first time, and he did it.
He can't leave.
He has to get healing. He has to get help. He has two problems. He got to fix his marriage, and he got to fix
y'all talking.
He can't.
He has to fix him. He has to fix his marriage, and it's hard to do both of them at the same time, especially when you're talking about addictions and things.
I just have one more thing I want to say. Do you think that since the way he put it in his video, his apology, his video that he apologized on, right? You can go watch it on YouTube. He's saying that she's standing by him and he appreciates her and he loves her and he whatever. Again, my question is he could be just saying this, of course, and she has not talked about it or whatever. But my thing is that she forgave him the first time, which a lot of us who have had infidelities and all this kind of stuff in our marriages and stuff have done that before, right? But again, you step into that same arena less than a year. It ain't like it's been years. You see what I'm saying? You do it again, and you come up with the same thing. As a woman, when do you say, I got to have some self-esteem about me? Because you playing with my life now. Because see, committing adultery and having sex with people now ain't safe. You can't just take no pills. Sometimes this can be unto death nowadays.
Well, this was an emotional affair, so he didn't have sex, so her life wasn't in danger at this particular point. But the thing is this, can't nobody ever answer that question. All I can say is when enough is enough for Tawan. I can never say when enough is enough for her because I don't know what her bandwidth is to deal with that. And when people come ask you those kind of questions, you just leave that alone. I don't know what she should do. I say we should forgive people. I mean, I know I did something today. I know I need to go. When I go to bed tonight, I be on my face and say, please forgive me. So forgiveness comes with any relationship. But at the end of the day, nobody can answer the question but her. Because I don't know when enough is enough. It's enough when she says it's enough.
Okay, go ahead, Lisa.
I was just gonna say, I mean, I get what Sean and I get what y'all saying. I don't know why, and maybe I'm looking at this wrong. I think that Sean is talking about one part of this, but I think Gail is talking about another part of this because I agree with what Sean is saying, but I'm also, it's like when you all are both talking, I'm hearing Sean talk, but it's not addressing the other part of this, and I'm hearing Gail talk, and it's not, and maybe I'm looking at
why we was
but that's why I'm like, well, it's not really
when we was talking. Really, and I said, let's say this for Evening Tea with Gail because again, y'all know I stand for marriage. Y'all know I rock with marriage. I've been doing this for a long time. But eventually, sometimes you got to tell them to get off the roller coaster.
Well, and I agree. I that's what I'm saying. I agree with what Sean said. I get what Gail is saying too, because there are not just one side to this. And I get that, yes, he needs help, but at the same time, there's a woman who needs help too, for more than one reason, for continuing to do it and not having enough, whatever her issue is, for continuing in it. It's just a lot that needs to be like the onion peeling down. It's a whole bunch of stuff. It's not just this way or this way, and that solves the problem. Because even if he gets his stuff together, if she ain't got her stuff together, then it's still a problem. Because if they're in a union together, there's still a problem. So I get both sides. I really do think I was almost like this is apples and oranges on some level, because I get his thing, but at the same time, I was like, okay, I get that he needs to be fixed, but you can't forget about the person that while he's getting fixed, is going through this. That's a whole nother, it's a whole nother story. If you did a story on each one of them going through something like that, it could go bad either way. You know what I'm saying? If she ain't the head of the church, but she could go through some stuff that, and he didn't, and a lot of times people do things to people and think, okay, because I'm sick, I can't get this right. But in the meantime, you damaging them on a whole nother level. Because they might not have even been strong enough to handle what you can. So, it's a whole lot up in that. Yeah, it's a whole lot.
I just think at the end of the day, the devil is definitely out to destroy and kill marriages, right? And so I think because of that, and I also think that there is an even bigger attack on Black marriages. So I really do feel that way. And I think that because of that, we as even Black people who are married have to understand that. Like, we have to understand that there is attack on the Black marriage, and that go all the way back to slavery. We can go ahead and even put it all the way back to discrimination and the way that, because we can't just get married. I mean, we can't just get divorced like other people, because that then messes up our financial, stability. There's so many things that come with divorce in today's day and age. But I think it's left up to us as people to educate ourselves and to be mindful that, number one, there's an attack on marriages, there's an attack on Black marriages, and the devil is very, very busy. So we have to be mindful of those things and understand that there are going to be all these major temptations, and we probably have to fight harder than other people to to rid ourselves of the temptations that are going to be, that are going to be in our face. And I mean, he's a huge, prominent figure. So women don't be throwing themselves at him. And I know that kind of thing can be very, very hard to handle. And it's just something that I think that Pastor Gray is going to have to understand and get used to. It's going to come a dime a dozen. You're going to have to learn how to resist, right? That's just something that he's going to have to learn how to do. And also, be able to get the therapy and all that kind of stuff. But as a whole, marriages are under attack. And so he's got to realize that if he wants to hold on. And I just pray for them, especially his wife, because it happened in my relationship. It would be hurtful. I'm not saying that I'm automatically going to get divorced, but something got to happen. Something got to give. We got to be able to get in this relationship together, right? Like something has to give.
Yeah.
Right. And
but you know what? And it's addiction. When you're talking about addiction, let's leave it just as addiction. You're saying, when does enough become enough for her? If she understands this man has an addiction, you don't walk away necessarily from your alcoholic husband when he has a problem and he falls and you put him in rehab and you go back. And like Sean said, he will fall again. Anybody knows in addiction, you're going to do it again. So we're saying, why is enough not enough? If she understands some of the psychological pieces, because truthfully, all we see is the telltale of what he did. We have no intimate details of what's being done. So if she's already been talked about the psychological pieces of this addiction, speaking to that little boy that needs to be healed, let's be very clear. She might not be leaving because she understands in addiction there will be a fall, and she's going to be to catch him when he falls, and she's going to give him a pass. I'm not saying it's right, wrong, or indifferent, and yes, she's being hurt. But when there is alcoholism, they have Al-Anon for the kids, for the wives to go. There are things she's going to have to do to build herself up, because she might have accepted the fact he has a sex addiction, or if that's a sex addiction, or he's feeding something else with sex, whatever it is. But she might be looking at it from the addiction piece versus, because in marriage, all kinds of problems come up. Gambling, and all kinds of stuff.
And that's the thing, is that she's not talking. So this is the other issue that Gail and I had. We are projecting. I'm not saying that we don't understand, but just because your spouse has an affair doesn't mean you have low self-esteem. It doesn't mean that you're not hurt.
Right.
But that's not a qualifier. Yeah. I mean, you can look at somebody who and be like, oh, I'm the prize, you trip and get you some help. We don't know. So my thing is let's not I'm not saying that she isn't hurt. I'm not saying that she isn't valued. What I'm saying is she's choosing to be quiet. So we talk about supporting women. Let's bring it back to the root, y'all. If you not talking about your marriage, okay, remember, we could take Snoop Dogg. I understand he's not John Gray, but Snoop Dogg has been married to his wife almost 30 years, and she just said, like Tawan said, he had 100, whatever the number, y'all. I'm being honest. She had the number down. She put it on Twitter, 130 or something, whatever, affairs or indiscretions. And she said, I don't think I could do 131. That's her, y'all. So she spent 30 years silent, doing whatever. We can't assume that you can be done after one. You know what I'm saying? We have to, she's not saying anything. So until we can hear from her and know what to pray and how to encourage her and how to really support her, I think the best thing that we can do, if she being quiet, is follow her lead. This is still her husband. So until the point in time that she decides, ladies, I need y'all to pray. Or like you said, she can do a whole series on how to shut the devil up in your marriage so your husband can heal. We don't know what God is preparing. That's the reason why we got to be like.
But that's why I'm confused about the discussion on some level, because I didn't get the impression that Gail or Kiki were either saying that, I'm saying one time and done. For everybody, I think it's a given. It's for each individual person. I didn't even see why we really are. That's not a
no. What she said was,
but I'm just saying that. Well, but I mean that's an open-ended question though, because I mean it's enough for whoever it is, and when they've had enough, I think everybody's saying the same thing though. So that's why I'm kind of
and we also assume that this is
still saying the same thing.
We also assume
I think we have not. I think we have not entered the fact that she may not have the issues that we're saying that she has. That's my point.
That goes for all of it, though. I mean, we're all even what you're saying, what everybody's saying. Nobody knows them, so we all
don't know them. But
like I said, I was just inundated. I was inundated by that topic, and I want to close tonight with just one question. Have y'all voted? Have you voted? Because my ballot came in the mail, and I done already mailed my back. Have y'all voted?
Oh yeah, no.
I trust the U.S. Postal Service.
I'm going to stand in line
with her chair and a cooler all the dang day. Okay,
we still have time.
I'm standing in line.
I'm standing in line.
I'm not trusting the U.S. Postal Service at this point in time. My mama mailed me something. She in Southeast, I'm in Maryland. It took 5 days. It should have took 1 day to get that to me. I'm not trusting U.S. Postal Service with something as precious as my vote. No, not that. I can't trust that now. This is too important to trust the Postal Service. Sorry, Postmaster General. Nah.
My sister, you guys, my sister lives 20 miles from my mother. My sister got her ballot, you guys. My mother had not. 20-mile difference. My mother goes to the clerk. This is real talk. My mother goes to the clerk, and they say, "Oh, we mailed it on X number of dates, and we sorry you didn't get it." This, like I said, this just happened last week. So when I decided to register and make sure that I can vote in the state of Michigan, I said, "Tell me my precinct, please," because I'm not. That showed me right there. Like I said, my sister only 20 miles away, y'all, and she got hers, but my mother didn't get hers. I think it's strategic, and I'm with all of y'all. I'm standing in line. I'm getting my scarf.
Sharon Parker says she's standing in line.
I'm buying my snack now. So I'll be in line. I got my blanket.
Y'all standing in line, Crystal.
I got my water bottle.
Standing in line. Yo, she's standing in line, honey. Okay, well, y'all stand in line, and we didn't mail down. Well, everybody having, because this year Joshua gets a chance to vote. Yes. So he get a chance to vote for the first time, so he probably will be in line so he can get the little sticker or whatever. But again, I thank you guys so much for joining me. Make sure that you guys go visit the Tea Lovers Cafe. And tonight, my tea of choice was raspberry lavender. It was delicious to on for real. And so, look, Crystal got
Chris is showing hers.
Crystal showing hers. Yes. And so,
I was drinking.
What are you drinking, Crystal? But anyway, I don't know.
I don't even know how to say that.
We're drinking water.
No, I didn't say water was in here. I just said it was a water bottle. Like,
you guys,
you can put anything in this bottle. Y'all know this, right?
So for anybody who made comments or whatever, we always go back on after we get off of here because it's hard to talk and look at the comments, and we will comment. Tawan, please make sure that you go and put the Tea Lovers Cafe a link on the page so people can support you. We appreciate you. Again, you guys, I love you guys. Thank you so much for hopping on. Lisa, congratulations on your show. I'm excited for you. I'm so excited for you. Keep plugging along with your doctorate degree.
Okay, so wait a minute. Before y'all get off. What? So anybody who's look, I want to just let y'all know on September 19th, we're having an event called Who Runs the World, Boys or Girls? I know we all girls, so we really run the world, but we're having like male, female, single, married, whatever, come on. And we're going to talk about communication between men and women and all that kind of stuff. Gail, I was waiting for your little submission. I'm still waiting. Tawan, you need to submit something. Y'all need to get in here. This is going to be really interesting.
Yeah, okay. I gotta submit. I just got a lot of good stuff going on and stuff. But okay, I definitely will. You guys, I want to shout out American Mothers, the DC chapter headed by Miss Sharon Parker. If you want more information about that, please go to AmericanMothers.org. I'm a member of that. Lisa's a member of that. And everybody who's a mama needs to become a member of that. And so again, I love you guys to pieces. Thank you so much for joining me with Evening Tea with Gail. Like I said, we'll go back on.
Candace,
before you hang up, I'm gonna say congratulations to all of y'all. And for the article, Lisa, the article was very good. The live they did was very good.
Yeah, it was really good. Thank you, Lisa, and Dust Out Magazine. She chronicled my mom's virtual makeover, my very first one, and it went really, really good. Cara is so excited, and I got a lot of people talking about, where's the link? Where's the link? Didn't I say I was going to do that in February when we had that interview?
Yes.
Okay, so I was like, what in the world? Thank you, Sharon, for putting the organization link in there. But yeah, people are asking me, like, Gail, where's the link? Where's the link? Ain't no link till February. Well, before February. I'm not doing it until February. People stop it, right? And I appreciate it.
Active.
Yeah. I mean, I seriously about 6 people like, I'm looking for the link on your website. Don't look for it, ain't there.
We might need to do something for the holiday.
I gotta get past White Masterclass, which is coming. I gotta get past BSB 2021.
They trying to get made over, Gail. They trying to get made over.
Okay, all right. We did have some amazing coaches. Thank you, Kiki. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Tawan. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, whoever, everybody else. And I love you guys so much. I appreciate you guys. See, this is really what happens. And Sean be getting heated, and I get heated right back. So I
had to turn my volume down on Sean. I was just like, wait a minute.
Close us out.
I think it was more than that. Welch's Kiki.
I know. All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night. I love you guys. Thank you. Bye, ladies.
Bye.